All right. Shalom Yasharala. Before we get started, we don't give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rachakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone and teaching and well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. Back another video, another lesson. And this is going to be a World War III news update. All right, the Israel and Hamas war. All right, and things going on, things that's going on in the so-called Middle East. All right, and things are heating up. All right, a lot of stuff happening. Got some articles we're gonna look at. It's a few clips. We're gonna bring it out. Keep you brothers and sisters updated of what's going on. Around the world, because the end is the time is short. The end is here. All right, and we know that World War III is biblical prophecy, and it will come to pass, but we have to wait for the RFID chip, the microchip, the mark of the beast to be implemented. All right. So our first, I don't even know where I want to start at. Let's start. I'll start right here. This is from End Time Headlines. All right. Trump warns, and most of these articles, I probably won't read all of them, but I'll put the link in the description. All right, so you brothers and sisters can go look at them. But it says Trump warns Iran will be held responsible for any future Houthi attacks. All right, oil prices spike from fears of war. It says in a series of escalating statements and actions, President Donald Trump has issued a stern warning to Iran, asserting that the United States will hold Tehran, accountable for any future attacks carried out by Yemen's Houthi rebels, which he just bombed. All right, Yemen. We'll get to that. This development comes amid heightened tensions in the Middle East, particularly, following U.S. military strikes against Houthi targets in Yemen, which Trump launched in response to groups' persistent attacks on Red Sea shipping. According to Reuters, Trump initiated large-scale military operations against the Iran-aligned Houthis on March 15th, 2025, demanding an end to their disruptions in the Red Sea. The strikes were accompanied by a direct message to the Houthis, with Trump warning that hell will rain down upon you, end quote, if the attacks continue. The Houthis, backed financially and militarily by Iran, have targeted commercial vessels in the region, a critical artery for U.S. global trade, prompting a robust U.S. response. Trump has since broadened his rhetoric to implicate Iran directly. In statements reported by multiple outlets, including Al Jazeera, English, and Yanet, the president declared that any further Houthi aggression will be viewed as originating from Tehran. And quote, Iran will be held responsible for every shot fired by the Houthis, Trump said, as quoted by Al Jazeera English on March 17, 2025. He further emphasized that such attacks would be met with great force, and Iran would face, end quote, dire consequences for continued support of the group. This position was echoed in a report by Benzinga, which noted Trump's assertion on March 17, 2025, that, end quote, any Houthi attacks will be looked upon as coming from Iran. The statement signals a significant shift in U.S. policy, effectively tying Iran's fate to the actions of its proxy in Yemen. Analysts suggest this approach aims to deter Tehran from further escalating the conflict through its regional allies. The dropback to Trump's warnings includes recent U.S. military actions, which Reuters detailed as a response to Houthi attacks disrupting maritime traffic. The strikes, launched just days ago, marked a sharp escalation in U.S. involvement in the Yemen conflict, which has simmered for years as a proxy war between Iran and its adversaries, including Saudi Arabia and the United States. Iran has yet to respond to Trump's latest threats formally, but the rhetoric aligns with a broader U.S. strategy to pressure Tehran on multiple fronts, including its nuclear program and support for militant groups across the Middle East. All right, and this is a long article, and I'll read a few more. It says posts found on X reflect a mix of support and concern among users, with some praising the hardline stance while others warn of the risks of wider regional conflict. Oil prices have climbed following this bold statement from U.S. President Donald Trump. The announcement, coupled with recent U.S. military actions against the Iran-aligned group, has heightened geopolitical tensions in the Middle East, sending ripples through global energy markets. According to CNBC, oil prices rose on Monday after Trump's comments, which came in the wake of U.S. airstrikes targeting Houthi positions in Yemen over the weekend. All right. And if you didn't know, Iran is backing up, these they call them, I'll just say terror groups. All right, let me see. Is Iran backing Hamas? I looked up. Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh and Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei in 2012. Since the early 1990s, the Islamic Republic of Iran has been sponsoring Hamas with military aid and training and financial aid. Iran has remained a key patron of Hamas, providing them with funds, weapons, and training. All right. So they're backing these people up, and the reason why they keep attacking these ships, because if you read in this article, I'll just go to the point. It says, let me see if I can find it. The title says Trump's sights set on Iran after U.S. airstrikes decimate more than 30 Houthi targets. Let me see if I can. I'm trying to find. I saw that earlier. Right here it says the Houthis. Okay, the Houthis announced last week that they will ramp up attacks on the Red Sea once more, claiming they were doing so to pressure Israel to allow humanitarian aid to flow back into Gaza. Yeah, because those people over there, they're not eating. They're not getting no food, no water. I already got a clip. From Al Jazeera. Palestinians in Gaza suffer extreme hunger under Israeli blockade. All right, this was yesterday, March 17, 2025. Listen in. So I'm gonna replay it. All right.
في ظل الأزمات كثيرة، في ظل المعابر مسكرة من أكثر من أسبوعين على التوالي، نحن بنعاني كثير من نقص كميات الطحين، نقص كميات الأكل.
بدنا نتحمم من هالأولاد، بدنا نتحمم، بدنا نغسل للأولاد، بدنا نشرب، بدنا نطبخ منها. في مي هذه مش نافعة، المي اللي بيجيبوها عنا كمان مالحة، ما لهاش طعم للأكل. يعني بنستنى في هذه المي عشان نطبخ فيها ونشرب منها. كل 3 أيام ما بتجينا مرة، يعني بتيجي المسافات، كل يوم يجيبوها يعني لنا. كل يوم يعني خافوا من معاناة الشعب. على كل حال المي من الأساسات الأساسية يعني في الحياة.
بدنا ناخذ الطاوله الكبيره. زي ما انتم شايفين الان احنا بنقوم نقدر يعني نحصل على قوتنا اليومي من التكيه بشكل او باخر. احنا كنا زمان ما كناش نعتمد على التكيه باي شكل من الاشكال، بس اليوم اضطرينا نعمل على التكيه لانه شح المواد شحيحه جدا، نقص في المياه، نقص في الاكل، نقص في الشرب، نقص في كل حاجه.
جينا هنا عشان التكية هنا بتقدم خدمات بس مش قادرة. كان يدينا خبز، يسلمنا خبز وكل شيء، بس يا ريت يعني ما فيش شيء، وهو يعني بيعمل من قد ما بيقدر يعمل.
طلع عندك بتشوفه بعينك.
See that? So, hey, people going through it over there, man. And as you saw in the last bit, they say
ما بيقدر يعمل.
they say they also accuse Israel of using starvation as a weapon. You see, so they're blocking, aid to go to these people, man. And it may look sad, but hey, they don't belong there anyway. Neither of them do. Let's get Ezekiel, if we can. This is Ezekiel 36:5. It says, "Therefore saith the Lord power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen," right? And against all Idumea. Who's Idumea? That's Esau. All right, Edom. "Which have appointed my land into their possession with the joy of all their heart, with the spiteful minds to cast it out for a prey." All right. So neither of them belong over there, man. All right, that land is reserved for the Israelites, the real Israelites. All right. Let's get another real quick. Let's get Matthew. All right, because we hearing wars and rumors of wars. Matthew 24:6, "And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." Salakia. You see? So this is just the beginning. We see, these small scale wars playing out, but eventually it's going to lead to World War III, as we always prophesy. All right. Let's get man. Yeah, it says Netanyahu says, this is from BBC News. Netanyahu says fighting has resumed in Gaza with full force. Israel has resumed combat in full force against Hamas in the Gaza Strip, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said on Tuesday night. In a defiant video statement, he warned that negotiations will continue only under fire and that this is just the beginning. His comments came after Israeli aircraft launched massive airstrikes against what the military said were Hamas targets in Gaza. More than 400 people have been killed in the attacks, the Hamas-run health ministry said, and hundreds more injured. The wave of strikes was the heaviest since a ceasefire began on the 19th of January. The fragile truce, had mostly held until now, but this new wave of attacks suggests plans for a permanent end to the war, may be off the table. The airstrikes on Tuesday shattered the relative peace that Gazans had been experiencing since January, and hospitals are once again overrun with casualties. And quote, "The attacks were so sudden that the number of medical staff available was inadequate for the scale of these large strikes, and additional teams were called in immediately to assist." Mohammed Zakwat, Director General of the Gaza Strip's hospitals, told BBC Arabic. In his address, Netanyahu said Israel had tried to negotiate with Hamas to release the Israeli hostages still being held in Gaza. He accused Hamas of rejecting the proposals every time. Israel and Hamas have disagreed on how to take the ceasefire deal, All right, forward since the first phase expired in early March, after numerous exchanges of Israeli hostages and Palestinian prisoners. The deal involves 3 stages, and negotiations on the second stage were meant to have started 6 weeks ago, but this did not happen. Instead, the agreement was thrown into uncertainty when the U.S. and Israel wanted to change the terms of the deal to extend stage 1, which would see more hostages released. That would have delayed the start of phase 2, which was meant to establish a permanent ceasefire and require Israeli troops to pull out of Gaza. But Hamas rejected this proposed change to the agreement brokered by U.S., Qatari and Egyptian mediators, calling it unacceptable. Right, and this is let's get Psalms. Is that 55 and 21? Right, it says the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So it's nothing but war in his heart, man. He wants to go to war. He's not looking for no all the deals that he made. Even look at the Native Americans. All right, these treaties that he made, these deals, he broke all of them, man. You can't trust this devil for nothing. Then the words of his mouth were smoother than butter. He has a good talking game, but war is in his heart, is in his mind. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. You can't trust this devil, man. He's like a serpent. A serpent is what? Crafty, all right. Slick, sly, cunning. This is what Esau Edom is, man. You can't trust him. You can't trust his words. You can't trust being around him, because he's gonna sneak you out at some point, right? It tells you that in Ecclesiasticus, was that chapter 12, I believe. Trust not thine enemy. Let me see. Yeah, Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 verse 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt," Salakia, right? It says, read it, verse 11 again. "Though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust have not been altogether wiped away." It says, "Set him not by thee, lest when he have overthrown thee, he stand up in thy place. Never let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou," it says, "and thou at the last remember my words, and be pricked therewith." You see? So you can't trust your enemy, man. Let's read this in the GNT. You can't trust this devil. All right? He always thinking of something, to thinking of something in his mind, right? Verse 10, all right? "Never trust an enemy. His wickedness is as destructive as rust. Watch out and be on guard against him, even if he acts ever so humble. He is like a metal mirror that rusts away if you don't keep it polished. See an enemy, it says, see an enemy at your right hand, and the next thing you know, he'll be trying to get your own place of honor. Put him next to you, and he will overthrow you. Then you will realize the truth of my words and be stung with regret when you remember them." You see? So you can't trust this devil, man. He may say he want to do a ceasefire, but he's still bombing civilians. You see? And, kids, women, children dying. All right? But this, prophecy has to play out. This is going to lead to World War III, man. It's going to draw other nations out. Because if the U.S. go after Iran, Russia going to step in. You see? So, hey, let's see if we can get another one. Let's get this clip. All right, Houthi militia unsuccessfully retaliates after it said U.S. strikes on Yemen killed 53. Let's watch this.
Meanwhile, on the legality front, let's get over to David Super. He's a professor. Meanwhile, on the legality front.
What I want.
For 3.
All right, it says, so yeah, you just saw the title. Let's look in.
For 3 straight days, the U.S. blitz on Yemen.
You know, give me 1 second. Turn off the captions. All right, we're good now.
For 3 straight days, the U.S. blitz on Yemen hasn't let up. The Trump administration first ordered airstrikes on the Iran-backed Houthi militia on Saturday night. Since then, 98 people have been hurt and 53 killed, according to the Houthi-run health ministry. Officials say women and children are among the dead and injured, a claim NBC News hasn't been able to verify. A U.S. defense official telling NBC News the Houthis tried to launch 2 retaliatory strikes against the USS Harry Truman over the weekend, and both were unsuccessful.
An era of peace through strength is back. We will use overwhelming lethal force until we have achieved our objective.
President Trump today on social media reiterating his warning that Iran will be held responsible if the Houthis do strike back, writing, "Every shot fired by the Houthis will be looked upon as being a shot fired from the weapons and leadership of Iran."
Our message to Iran is you better take this president seriously, and I think the Houthis learned that the hard way this past weekend.
Iran supports...
See, they proud, man. Right? This is Obadiah. The pride of thine heart. Okay? Obadiah 1 and 3. The pride of thy heart hath deceived thee. Thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Though thou exalt thyself as the eagle, because the eagle is the highest flying bird, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. You see? So that pride is getting to him, man. And Esau, one of the proudest beings on his work, on his earth. Second is the black woman. So let's go back.
Fired from the weapons and leadership of Iran.
Our message to Iran is you better take this president seriously, and I think the Houthis learned that the hard way this past weekend.
Iran supports both the Houthis in Yemen and Hamas in Gaza. In 2023, the Houthis started attacking vessels on a key global shipping route just off Yemen's shores. In solidarity, they said, with the Palestinians. Those attacks largely stopped after Hamas and Israel reached a ceasefire deal in January. But after phase 1 of that ceasefire expired and Israel blocked aid from entering Gaza earlier this month, the Houthis pledged to renew their attacks.
See that? Say that again.
They said, with the Palestinians. Those attacks largely stopped after Hamas and Israel reached a ceasefire deal in January. But after phase 1 of that ceasefire expired and Israel blocked aid from entering Gaza earlier this month, the Houthis pledged to renew their attacks. Iran's Revolutionary Guard commander over the weekend saying, "We stand firm against any threat and will respond in the strongest possible way." A firm, crushing, and devastating response. In Yemen's capital, Sana'a, massive crowds coming out to denounce the strikes and to express solidarity with Gaza. One protester saying, "The American and Israeli strikes that fell on our great Yemeni people will not weaken us or defeat us."
And Matt Bradley joins us now from Tel Aviv.
I want to get a quick one real quick. A quick script. This second Edges 15, because now they're coming together. Second Edges 15 and 28. Behold, a horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east, where the nations, all right, of the dragons of Arabia, the Ishmaelites, who are the so-called Arabs today, shall come out with many chariots, and the multitude of them shall be carried as the wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. All right, what are these chariots, though? These chariots, they're military power. They're tanks. They're, bulletproof vehicles. They're nuclear weapons, right? Verse 30, also the Carmanians, raging in wrath, shall go forth as the wild boars of the wood. And with great power shall they come and join battle with them. So the Carmanians, who's the modern day Carmanians? I believe I looked it up over here. Yeah. Today, Carmanians refers to the people and region of Kerman province in southeastern Iran, which was historically known as the satrapy of Carmania in the Achaemenid Empire. All right. The location, Kerman province, is located in the southeastern part of Iran on the shores of the Persian Gulf. All right. And at one point, the Medes and the Persians, they were ruling, so they were in rulership at one point, That's the second beast, the Medes and the Persian captivity, which they allowed us to build our temple, during the time of Ezra and Nehemiah. All right. But now they're coming together in war to fight against Esau, Edom. All right. The so-called white man, the U.S. and Israel, So prophecy is coming together, man. It's playing out, and World War III is getting close, and Jacob's trouble is getting closer and closer and closer. The mark of the beast getting closer and closer and closer, and so is World War III, and so is the great return of our Lord Yahweh Shai, man. All right, that day is getting closer as well. The day of the Lord is coming, and we got to prepare ourselves. First start with myself. Preparing ourselves spiritually and mentally, Salaki, spiritually and mentally. All right, we got to prepare ourselves for that. Let's get I just had another one. What was it? I forgot it. We can get this. Ezekiel 38. Right? This is Ezekiel 38:1. And the word of the Lord, Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal, and prophesy against him, and say, Thus saith the Lord power, because I am against thee, O Gog, which is Russia, all right, which they're in league with Persia, which is Iran today, the chief prince of Meshech and Tubal. And I will turn thee back, and put hooks into thy jaws, and I'll bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords. Look, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer, which today is Turkey, and all his bands, the house of Togarma, which I believe is Germany, of the north quarters, and all his bands, and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be a guard unto them. You see, so let's say, the U.S. does strike Iran. Okay, that's going to bring in, Russia. Russia's going to step in, because Russia and Iran they're in league with one another. They've been in an alliance. You got all these other articles. Israel surprise deadly airstrikes shatter Gaza ceasefire, killing over 400 in night of hell. Man, you could read this. Like I said, most of them put a link in the description if I can. All right, but Israel ends ceasefire with Hamas and carries out strikes in Gaza after they refuse to release hostages. So it's a lot going on, man. Okay. And prophecy is playing out. It's coming to pass. And eventually it's going to lead to a World War III. The nation's being judged. All right. And America, Babylon the Great being destroyed, and Esau being taken out of rulership. Matter of fact, let's get that. Let's end it with that. Jeremiah, what's that? 49. Where is that? Let's go to 50. Let's get 50. Jeremiah 50:45. Therefore, hear ye the counsel of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes, that he hath purpose against the land of the Chaldeans, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. All right. And the least of the flock is these small hats. All right, they're gonna it says, surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Draw them out to what? To battle, to war. Drawing out America and these other nations to World War III. All right, and it's eventually going to lead to America, Babylon the Great, being destroyed. You know, so Lord's Word was edifying. You know, you got some edification out of it. You brothers and sisters out there, we going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Chakwadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and teaching Ruel. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect. And the water Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, we're going to spirit do this lesson. Those who are edified by it. Till next week, I'm going to say, Shalom.